Hi everyone, it's Tasha. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making my must-have mods for The Sims 4 in 2024 video. This is kind of suggested by a comment I got on one of my Not So Berry episodes. Someone basically asked me how I make my game so pretty and what mods I have and what mods I use. So I thought I'd make a whole video based on that, and I'd also like to thank you all so much for 100 subscribers. I can't believe that went so quick. This is kind of a little 100 subscriber special because normally I just post Let's Play videos, but today I'm making a little thing for you guys on my favourite mods that I cannot play the game without. Also though, I'm thinking of starting a Twitch channel where basically I will record all the challenges for The Sims. I'll keep posting Not So Berry on here, but I kind of want to do things like the 100 baby challenge and stuff like that on live streams. So if you think that's a good idea, let me know in the comments. Anyway, let's get started with my favourite must-have mods. So first of all, we're going to go through cast mods. One of my must-have mods in Create a Sim is the standing still in cast mod. As you can see here, my sim is completely still. She's not laughing, she's not shrugging, she's not looking around. It really gets on my nerves when my sims do that and they just don't stop moving. So this is a must-have mod for me when I'm creating sims. Another one of my must-haves in Create a Sim is the more Create a Sim columns mod. You can pick between 3, 4 or 5 different rows. I personally go for the 5 one, but it might not show up as 5 columns on some of your monitors. So you've got to kind of pick and choose and see which one fits your screen. And I just like the one with 5 columns because I can see all of my custom content and stuff so much easier, and it's just really helpful. Next thing I love in Create a Sim is custom backgrounds. You can find so many of them so easily just by searching Sims 4 cast backgrounds on Google. My personal favourite is to look through images or going on Pinterest and looking at kind of like simple colour block ones. People do a lot of themed ones, like this one here. It's like an oceany type theme pack. I like the simple plain colour ones because I think it just makes Create a Sim look so clean. Obviously there are a lot more different simple mods that you can use in Create a Sim, such as different sliders, like lip sliders, height sliders, things like that I do have in my game. If you'd like a more in-depth Create a Sim mod and like edition type of video, then let me know in the comments, but these are just my must-haves that I honestly couldn't play and create sims without having. Going into live mode here, you see a override on the loading screen. These are also something that I love in my game. You've probably noticed in like my Not So Berry challenge, I usually change my cast background and my loading screen background to match the colour of the generation. I like to change them around all the time. They're just so fun to change and it just adds a little cute addition to your game. Okay, now we're in live mode. I'm going to show you some gameplay mods that I also can't live without. Not so much gameplay, but one of them is the UI cheats mod. This mod is just so helpful when it comes to changing and tweaking little things, especially when it comes to storytelling. If you want Sims to, I don't know, you can have better relationships with each other. I would show you, but obviously my sim doesn't know anyone, so never mind. But it is really useful. You just right click on the sim, you can change their relationship, like the points, how much friendship, how much romance they have. It's also helpful for cheating needs. As you can see, you can cheat it down, now she's about to wet herself, or you can cheat it up. It's really helpful for when you're trying to like grind a skill or something and your sim really needs to pee and you just don't have time for all that. This mod literally makes you able to change anything you want. You can also change the weather and you can even change the time. Also change the money, but obviously there are already cheats that everyone knows about for that. This is a very well-known mod, but I just think it's really helpful, and as someone who doesn't even like to use cheats in their game because I like to kind of just struggle and work my way up, it's really helpful for storytelling purposes. Another really popular and well-known mod that a lot of simmers use is MC Command Center. Again, I really couldn't play the game without this. It's also good for storytelling, like I said. And things like Not So Berry challenge where generation 2 is only allowed 1 child, for example, you can always like go into MC pregnancy, you can change the offspring, you can change whether it's a girl, you can change how many babies there are. It's just really helpful. It also just like makes the game so much quicker, like changing outfits, for example, MC dresser, change outfit, blah blah blah. It's just so much better and easier rather than having to get your sim to actually queue it up and do it themselves, because you know what the sims are like, they never do what you tell them to do. That's not even the beginning of what MC Command Center can do. Honestly, if you want to see a whole review on MC Command Center, I'm sure there's loads of videos on YouTube. Next up is Wonderful Whims. This mod is basically the PG version of Wicked Whims. It adds all these things like the menstrual cycle, birth control, it enhances woohoo, things like that, without it being too extreme and explicit. Personal favourite is the attractiveness feature. This is something a lot of people download Wicked Whims purely for without using any of the more explicit parts of Wicked Whims. They just enjoy the attractiveness feature. But with Wonderful your whims, you can have that same exact feature without all the other stuff. So it's a really ideal mod for all the extra relationship buffs and things like that without the not so PG parts. I'll show you now some of the features. So here's the attractiveness. You can develop her preferences, so basically she will just develop them by herself, or you can choose them and you can choose her strong preferences. And then when a sim kind of meets a sim that matches those preferences, they often get a moodlet saying they find them very attractive, and you can see how attractive they find a sim in their profile, their relationship profile. As you can see, there's loads of different things. There's hair attractiveness, fundamental like sex, age, things like that. There's so much you can change. Another mod I love is base mental drugs. This one is a bit more of an extreme mod. Not a lot of people might like this, but it adds things like drugs, obviously, gangs, police officers even, and like bouncers, and also adds the drunk moodlet. If you want a sim that's a bit more of a rebel, a sim that likes to go out partying and doing crazy things, if you want a sim who kind of just, I don't know, wants to go off the rails a bit, this mod is really good. You get little pop-ups on your screen when you start a save file as well, coming up with kind of news reports about drugs, and it's actually kind of like funny. Obviously this mod isn't for everyone, but I do personally find it quite funny when you see kind of just some random sim whip out a spliff in a club, or you get a pop-up on your screen being like, do you want some Molly? Like, it's so stupid that it's funny. Obviously drugs and stuff shouldn't be romanticized, but for a video game where people like to create crazy storylines and just, you know, crazy stuff like that, it's really helpful and, you know, enjoyable for those of you who would enjoy that. Another one I love is the relationship and pregnancy overhaul mod. This literally just improves everything to do with relationships and pregnancy, obviously clues in the name. It changes things like teen pregnancy, so it makes kind of like more realistic parent reactions. Like, as you can see here, there's a pop-up that makes you choose whether to be supportive of your child or not so supportive if your child turns out pregnant, things like that. It also adds in stuff that kind of lets you be able to pick whether your sims would want a child or not in that moment. So if they accidentally got pregnant, they'd be upset about it. Same with as a teenager. They're not just going to get on with it. They will have moodlets, being stressed, anxious, worried, sad, because they don't want a baby as a teenager. It's just so much more realistic and so good for stories and things like that. I love it. I honestly just really love mods like this where you can have more realism and things like that. This mod also adds it so you can have, like, when you have a baby, you can go to like early pregnancy classes, mother and baby classes. You can have like water births, things like that. It's crazy. It's so like well made, and I honestly just love it. Here's some of the things that come up. Thoughts on being pregnant, thoughts on having children, cheating, infidelity. Honestly, there's just so much. I couldn't even go into it all in this video because it is just so like in-depth. It's such an in-depth mod. Okay, I'm going to talk about two more kind of mods and then my reshade and things like that to make my game look pretty. So first of all, one is the pose player mod, where obviously, as you can see, I can pose my sim by a pack that I have. It'll then queue up and she'll just strike a pose once she puts her book away. There she is. She is so adorable, so cute, so pretty. I love it. Honestly, this is just really helpful for thumbnails. That's honestly all I use it for. And this goes hand in hand with the teleport any sim mod as well. It comes with this statue type of thing that you can place down anywhere. It costs 0 simoleons, it's free, and you can just press teleport sim here, pick a sim, and they will be stood in this exact position, so that way you can pose sims together, you can pose them in front of a specific thing. It's just really helpful for things like thumbnails if you want to make YouTube videos. So one of the main parts of the comment that I received was how I make my game look so pretty, and honestly it's just reshade. I love reshade. So what the hell, she looks insane. She's feeling dazed because she's PMSing. But anyway, reshade is kind of like a plugin type of thing that you can install to any sort of video game to make it, just to enhance it. So I'll link reshade in the description if you need help downloading it. There are so many tutorials on YouTube. And the preset I use is called Serene or Serenity, I think. I'll link it in the description, and whoever created it, I can't think of the top of my head, but I will find the original Patreon post. But it's my favourite thing. And if you press home, you can actually, it's called Serene, right? Okay, I was right. But if you press home, then all of these reshade kind of options come up. Here are all like the presets, and you can change and edit things. Like there's adds more saturation. Jesus Christ, I would not recommend playing with that, but this is what I'm saying though. You can change so much stuff. Downloading presets is so easy, and if you want to make your own preset, it's also pretty easy just to kind of look through and play through all of the little settings and effects. I'm going to leave it here. That's all of my must-have mods. Obviously I have some other mods and gameplay things in my game, but these are just the ones that I genuinely could not play the game without. A lot of these are very well known and have been around for years, but I wanted to make the point of the fact that I still have to play with them in 2024. Over 10 years since the game has been released, I still cannot play it without these specific mods. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped out. Even if you've known all of these mods before, maybe you just wanted to see what they did, or if you're a new Sims player, these are definitely some must-have mods for 2024. Again, let me know in the comments if you think I should make a Twitch channel to stream other challenges like the 100 baby challenge, things like that. But until then, I'll see you in my next video.